Hi everyone. My name is Brendan. Today I'm going to be giving my informational speech. So to start off, when I was engaged to Chloe, I was taking a neurobiology class, and I was always doing homework for it. And to study for that class, I had to learn what an action potential was. Which those are basically the electric signals that your brain uses to send signals and stuff like that. So I won't be going through as much detail that I studied, but I will be going through the basics. My teacher from my neurobiology class was Brother Lowry, and I came out of that class with an IB, but I have some sources to back myself up on the things that I think. So the brain is one of my fascinations. I believe it's beneficial for everyone to know what an action potential really is, just so you have a better understanding of your body and how it works. So I'll be outlining the basic anatomy of a neuron, which is a brain cell. And as I do this, I'll follow like an action potential through each of the structures. So according to the National Library of Medicine, an action potential is a rapid sequence of changes in voltage across a neuron's membrane. Washington.edu explains that neurons use electrochemical signaling as these charges. So the neuron are the cells of the brain that are used. So I'm going to use my arm as a visual aid. So I'm going to use my left arm. So this, starting right here, so there's like a cell body in here, this would be a dendrite. So this receives the action potential, the charge, and then it would go into the soma. And according to Healthline, the soma kind of charges up the action potential or slows it down to give it the energy it needs for activities. So if it comes in too hot, it kind of like stops it a little bit so it doesn't go too fast. And then if it comes in too slow, it gives it the energy that it needs to keep going. So as that happens, it'll go down the axon. The long part of the brain cell is then called an axon. And the reason that it can go as fast as it can is there's myelin sheaths on it. And these are basically insulators on the axon that make it go faster. So some of your neurons are insulated or myelinated, and some of them aren't. And one of the ways that I like to kind of illustrate this is through like whenever you're at like a campfire and the ember kind of accidentally goes on your hand and you kind of just look at it, and then after it starts hurting after 2 minutes and stuff like that, that's because the neurons that were in there weren't myelinated. So it's not as quick. And some of your quicker responses, like when you stub your toe and you like kind of curse and stuff like that, that's a very, very myelinated neuron response. So the conduction, it's called saltatory conduction when it's myelinated, and I won't get into the details there because it's really complicated and convoluted. And it'll go down to the axon hillock down here. So it's kind of like a nub on the end. So I'm going to kind of illustrate like the entire point of an action potential is to get down to the axon hillock and release the calcium. And the calcium is going to activate the vesicles that are full of neurotransmitters. The vesicles are just sacs of membrane. And as they move forward towards the membrane, like the end of the axon hillock, it's going to push out. It's going to push the neurotransmitters out. And as those neurotransmitters cross the space in between called the synapse, the dendrite on the other side has receptors that kind of act as like locks, and these neurotransmitters act as the keys. So as they kind of come in and do that, then the dendrite kind of like opens, if that makes any sense, and the action potential continues into the next neuron, and it just keeps going. So that's basically all that an action potential is. So I'm just going to summarize it real quick. So it's going to come, the action potential is going to start, be collected in the dendrite, it's going to move down into the soma, and it's going to kind of chill there for a second, and then it's going to move down the axon. It's going to release the calcium, which releases the vesicles, and then the vesicles fuse to the end and shoot out the neurotransmitters. That's called exocytosis. The neurotransmitters are going to go across the synapse and into the receptors on the next dendrite membrane. And then the action potential is going to keep going. And that's why studying is like so important, because it's going to create these kind of pathways in your brain to help you recall it later on. And that's basically what an action potential is. And I think it's important to know, because then you kind of understand your body more, and you just understand how your body works.